8th of January, Rudy here. Got a just a dedicated video to our stocks, shares on and ETFs on the ASX, and a number of them you can buy in Australian super. Let's get into it. So the first one is the semi. So obviously your Nvidias and whatnot. You can buy this in Australian super. These are old buys, and a number of these are just gonna, I guess, upgrade. So we've got semi, an old one, AINF. This is electrical infrastructure and copper miners. So this one you can't get in Australian super, but that's an old buy. Prepared to give that another new buy. Robo. So obviously there's about 50 odd companies, small weightings to each, involved in robotics, which obviously is going to continue to drive. So that gets another buy. D-Tech. I know at least one subscriber picked it up there. That was a beautiful buy. So war's not going away. They're going to keep fighting. So people in the know, the rich people want the wars to go on so they can get money in their pockets. So D-Tech, can't get that in your Australian super. RBTZ, haven't done a buy on this one yet, but you can get it in your super. So companies involved in production or use of robots and AI. It's more of a diversified robotics type play, but prepared to give that a stamp. Hack. So Hack you can buy in Australian super. It probably needs to do just a little bit more. It's forming a nice little wedge. So I'll put a. So look, if you're into your technology stuff, have a look at the underlying stocks. But if that can break through, then that's technically a buy. Or you buy it there, and if it drops below here, you sell it and take a little loss. The bug ETF, so cyber security. It's a new one. Can't buy this in Australian super, but again, for confirmation, you want it to break through here. Well, you just buy it there and have a stop down here. Dragon, DRGN, 20 Chinese technology companies. It's forming a nice little base there, so it's another new one. Can't get it in Australian super though. Again, if you want confirmation, you want to just see a little bit more up, but it's got a nice base there. Okay, onto our tech sector. So I've had a sell on the ATech. These are our big ASX stocks, and you'll see for the underlying holdings, it's trying to etch out a bottom, and you'll see this with a number of stocks. If it can break through here, then that's a buy. But just so next time you could buy it now with a tight stop. I don't think there's. It's been. How much is that, Rudy? So it's dropped 23%. So that's a decent correction, and we're sort of down to a support area. So I'm prepared to put it on the line. So the big stocks in there. So you got computer share. So you can see like confirmation and breakthrough there. PME, we'll give it a tick. So they're all on support, so it's pretty easy. If it drops below, you just sell, but you want to break that for confirmation. You can buy that in Australian Super. WiseTech is an old buy. You can buy him in Australian Super. So yeah, he's just, stick to it. Xero, you can buy him in Australian Super. So you can see they're all sort of down at their support and just need to do a little bit more. So I'm giving you the heads up. You can do your research and check them out. Car sales, you can't get that in Australian Super, but again, if it just needs to do a little bit more, and that should be on its way. REA, you can get that in your Super. So let's give it another. So it's right on support. Again, it's pretty easy if you buy there and just put stops there. You're not losing a lot. T&E, it needs to break through there. That's still got a bit of, I'm not prepared to put a buy on that one. If it breaks through there, I'd buy it and you like it. Seek, not, I don't think, we laugh off already. Robots, I don't think robots apply for jobs. So yeah, no, I'm not prepared to do a buy. So it's in ATEC, but the weightings as we go down get lower. So 360, the old June Bay Lou favourite. I did have a buy. I thought that was support there. So I'll still stick to it, but you want it to just do a bit more to confirm. And then Aristocrat is the other one. Prepared to give him a buy there. So you can see from that ATEC ETF, or our tech sector in general, they're sort of near a bottom and just need to do a bit more to confirm a bottom. Okay, so now some other, I guess, smaller ones that aren't in ATEC, but look okay. So we've got this A1M. On-premise device providers, connectivity issues. It looks like it's got a nice base there. So you'd have a stop under here. Appen. So same thing. Trying to pick bottoms here, but there's the upside compared to the downsides there. ASV, so this is an old buy. So I'll stick to that. AXE, so that's an old buy, and that still looks good to go. Bet, so obviously gambling software stuff. So you'd want it, there's a bit of downside there if it doesn't. Anyway, so you'd want to, I won't put a candle there in case I get nailed next time. But if it breaks through, that's a buy. Codan, so that's an old buy that still is a buy, especially if it breaks through there. The old gold mining detectors. CTT, that's an old one. The online high-end luxury fashion retailing. So that's still break of $1 would confirm. Dicker Data, so you can get this one in Australian Super. So this is a dividend stock, 4.3%. So it's an old buy, so I'd still stick to it. Drone Shield. So that was a buy on the break here. So if you're in it, you're definitely holding it because defense obviously is back on again. Would I buy it now? So if you bought it now, yeah, you just have a stop down here, 320. So I should reaffirm the buy then. DTL, you can get this in Australian Super. So that's there in the managed services space. So I'll give him another tick. That's a nice candle this week. ELS, that's been a ripper. Now, is it? So if I was in this, I'd be. We've got a flagpole here. There's your flag, and then that's your flagpole extension. So I'd be looking at trimming because that's a pretty decent run. What's that? 100%. You don't get that every day. Maybe switch it over to something else. EOS. Well, I got the sell right and I just completely missed the buy. Oh well. You can get this. I wouldn't buy. You can buy this in Australian Super. So it's a bit too risky for a buy now. HCL. Security. Protect Australian Defence Force. Blah blah. Anyway, he's got a nice little declining channel there. So I'll give him a tick. Harmony. So that's an old one. It's still looking fine. Hum. So that's an old buy. And I'd have a punt on that. You got so you got nice support around here. If it falls down here for whatever reason, just take loss, get out. IGO. Now this is actually a divvy stock, 6% fully franked dividend. So, so it's still a buy if you like it after a tech stock with divvies. A bit like Dicker Data. Light and Wonder. So that's an old buy. That was a good one. So there's your sort of resistance there. So that looks like that wants to go again. So I'll give him a tick. The gambling platform in Las Vegas, eh? Okay. PLY. So that's an old buy, a video game developer. So they're breaking out from resistance there. PPE. Okay, so this is a new one. Well, it needs to do a little bit more. We'll keep an eye on it. If it can break, you probably want it to break $1 to be sure. PPL, so that's an old buy. Just it's got that lovely cup and a wedge here. Just Oh, well, it still continues. Rent. So that's an old buy. So it still sticks. It's holding the support here. Mr. Weebit. You can buy him in the Australian Super. So it's an old buy. Well, he's come back down to support. So if he holds there, then that's fine. And then we finish on Zippity Doodah. You can buy him in Australian Super. So that was a nice buy there. So he looks like he's going to break through resistance. So I'll give him a tick. Alright, well that'll give you, that's our ASX tech sector. So it looks like we're getting to a bottom. Fund managers are probably trying to find, actually the fund managers have been telling you to buy tech stocks about 1 or 2 months ago. I don't look at the charts. But the charts are now saying, I think we're forming a bottom. So if you're into your tech, get into it. And if you've got another ASX tech stock or ETF you reckon is good, share it with us. All right. See ya.